Despite of the challenges, education will always be a tool in order for an individual to progress. Good day, I am Angel and Pagalan, your host for today. So now we are going to tackle one of the very important topic that as teachers should discuss, and it is the alternative delivery models, which is also known as the ADM. Since we have experienced drastic changes due to the pandemic, it is important for us to understand the alternative delivery models of the DepEd in order for us to still attain the educational needs of our children. And this would mainly become possible by acquiring adequate knowledge with regard to the alternative delivery models offered by the Department of Education. So for today's program, we have also invited special speakers, and they will help us understand more about the ADM. So without further ado, let me welcome Miss Abigail Morata, Miss Julie Nolasco, Miss Cristel Pipito, Miss Hazel Rojoca, and Miss Kathleen Perez to further explain the alternative delivery models.
Thank you, Miss Angel. Good day, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to conduct this information drive here in your barangay. We greatly appreciate your kindness for sparing some of your time to listen to our discussion for today. Anyway, earlier Miss Angel mentioned about the alternative delivery mode or ADM. So now let me introduce to you all what is ADM all about. So when we say alternative delivery mode, it refers to the non-traditional education program recognized by the Department of Education, which applies a flexible learning philosophy and curricular delivery program that includes non-formal and informal sources of knowledge and skills. There are two major ADMs of DepEd, and these are the modified in-school of-school approach, or also known as MISOSA, and the enhanced instructional management by parents, community, and teachers, which is also known as E-Impact. MISOSA involves subdividing congested classes with more than 50 students in grades 4, 5, and 6 into an in-school group with classroom and subject teachers and an off-school group with para or volunteer teachers, while E-Impact, on the other hand, is a technology-enhanced ADM that addresses issues in accessibility and quality of education in schools handled by a few teachers teaching multi-grade classes and allows learners who are otherwise prone to prolonged or seasonal absences to enter and exit when needed, learning from modules with the support of fellow learners, family members, and the community, and their progress or advancement are measured by a mastery test taken in the school. So you may ask, what is the importance of ADM and why did it existed in the first place anyway? So alternative delivery mode offers solutions that may help learners outside the regular school system acquire the needed basic education competencies and life skills. It also allows schools to deliver education to marginalized students and those at risk of dropping out in order to help them overcome personal, social, and economic constraints in schooling. Therefore, alternative delivery mode helps and give learners chances and other opportunities to still successfully have access and acquire a good quality education, no matter what instances may come along their way, especially amidst the pandemic where a lot of changes and adjustments are taking place, which is indeed a very challenging thing to both teachers and students as well as to their parents. So these alternative delivery modes include the following. We have the face-to-face learning, distance learning, blended learning, and lastly we have the homeschooling, which all going to be tackled later on by my other co-speakers for today. So that would be all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
So what is face-to-face learning? Face-to-face learning is when teacher and student meet in a set place for a set of time for either one-on-one learning or most commonly in group class lessons similar to what happens in school. Face-to-face learning, it is also a instructional method where course content and lesson materials taught in person to a group of students.
Now let's talk about distance learning. So it is a modality which uses one or more technologies to deliver instruction to learners who are separated from the teacher. The following is the 6 teacher strategies for effective distance learning. First is minimize distraction. As a teachers, we need to set rules about the use of technology during lessons and encourage students to focus on one task at a time. Second is use active testing or recall. A teacher must make quizzes or assessment tools available to students. The key is that they should bring the information to mind from memory. The third one is spread out learning. As a facilitator or a teacher to be specific, we need to spread out the topics being covered across multiple weeks so that there is a space between the repetition of the same ideas. The fourth one is mix things up. As a teacher, when giving students homework to do, focus on assignments that require them to work on a material that is both new and old or to integrate knowledge across topics. The fifth one is combine speaking with images. We need to use relevant, non-text images as teaching aids in the form of a large presentation visuals or image-based handouts. Then lastly, we have to use stories. A teacher must provide context or real-world examples or stories for concepts being taught.
Blended learning is all about an approach of education in which traditional in-person classes are supplemented or supported with technology and learners take advantage both of online and offline resources. When it comes to blended learning, students in groups move through a set of online learning activities in the classroom with the guidance of a teacher.
Homeschooling is another form of ADM that aims to provide learners with access to quality basic education through a home-based environment to be facilitated by qualified parents, guardians, or tutors who have undergone relevant training. It provides learning with access to formal education while staying in an out-of-school environment. How does homeschooling operate? Contrary to our popular belief, it is not just private learning institutions that offer support for homeschooling. A public school may also offer a homeschool program, or it can also be through a private school with a permit to offer a homeschool program. A more popular method of homeschooling is through homeschool providers. To facilitate the registration through the Learner Information System or LIS, these providers are either partnered with a DepEd accredited school or they may coordinate with a DepEd Schools Division. At the end of the day, we all just want the best education possible for our children. It is comforting to know that there are various options available out there to cater to every family's financial situation, cultural preference, and value system in the way they want their children to learn. Education is indeed the best investment, for it always pays the best interest in the form of our children's future. That sums up for our webinar for today. To all of our viewers, especially to all parents out there watching, thank you for your time, and in behalf of my colleagues, I wish you all the best and have a good day. Bye!
I know gold is not enough.